Hello, and welcome to my second video in my two-part series on how to make a daily behavior report card that can be filled out electronically and automatically sends out to people every day. Video 1 showed you how to use Google Forms to create your daily behavior report card, so if you haven't done that yet, there should be a link in the description of this video that will tell you how to get to that video so that you can do that first. If you've already done that, then the first step is we need to get to that form. So I'm going to click on that, and that will get us right back into that form that we had made in the previous video, and we're going to need to find the link that we can use to send this to other people. So we're going to click this send button over here, and that'll bring up a dialog saying, here's ways that you can send it to people. This first one looks at sending it in an email. We actually don't want to do that. We want to click over here for this link thing. This will give us a link that when someone clicks it, it will take them to the form. I like to kind of have them as short as possible, so I'm going to click that shorten URL. It's going to say press Control-C to copy, so you can hit Control and then C to copy it, or you can right-click and click this copy button right here, and that is the first step. So once we have finished that, the next thing that we're going to want to do is set this so that it automatically sends out an email with this link in it every day to people. And the tool that we're going to use to do that is a website called If This Then That. So what you're going to do is you are going to go to IFTTT.com. That's the initials for If This Then That, with the first if being part of it. This is a really cool service that can do all kinds of things for you. We won't go into everything that it can do because I could probably do a whole series on how to use this to improve things in your classroom, but you are going to have to sign up for an account for this. So that will be the first step. So if you don't have an If This Then That account, you're going to click this sign up button. I do already have one, so I'm going to click here, and then I'm going to log in to my If This Then That page. So it's thinking about it. Now it has logged us in to If This Then That, and you can see all kinds of different recipes that it's going to recommend. Basically what If This Then That does is you can make recipes that if one thing happens, you can trigger another thing happening. So I'm going to click right here for My Recipes, and you can see that I use this for this purpose a lot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click Create a Recipe to get things started. So all of the recipes for If This Then That follow this format. If this, then that. So we're going to click the this, which is a link now, and it will give us all of the different trigger channels, and there are like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these, but we're not interested in those. The one that we want is called date and time. So start typing in date and time, and you will see that it limits down to just date and time. So you're going to go ahead and click date and time, and then it will give you more options. So we have triggers every day, every hour, every day of the week, every month, every year. We're going to choose every day of the week at. So we'll click that, and I'll say every day of the week at our school day at my school that I use this at most often ends at 3 p.m. So 3 p.m. is a good time to have this email send out. We want to send that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and we'll click Create Trigger. So we are halfway done. So now we've got the icon for the date and time trigger if every day of the week at 3 o'clock on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, then, and it needs to know something else that's going to happen. So we're going to click on our that. It's going to bring up a bunch of different channels. Now, there are lots of different email clients that you can use with this. The one that we use is Gmail. So that's a pretty good way of doing it. So we'll click Gmail, and you'll click this. Now, if it's your first time using If This Then That, the first time you use channels that require outside permissions, so basically you'll have to give If This Then That permission to use your Gmail account. So when you click it, it'll pop up and it'll say, hey, you need to connect this channel. So follow the instructions to connect the channel. It's very simple. It involves you logging into your email account and then giving it permission to send emails from that email address. I've already done that, so I'll just click Gmail and it'll bring us right to this screen. So once you have connected your Gmail account to If This Then That, this is the screen that you'll see. And you can see there's only one thing you can do at this point, which is send an email. So we'll click that. Here is where things get a little bit tricky, okay? The first bit is pretty simple. To address, you can put up to 5 email addresses. So if, like me, you work at a middle school and you have a team of teachers who all need to receive the email, you can put all of them in there and that should be fine. Just make sure that you put commas. So I'll send, the first email to test@test.com, put a comma and a space, and then I'll send it to test2@test.com, that kind of thing. So you can put up to 5. If you need more than 5, you can just create a separate recipe, just like we're doing here, for the other folks and use the same stuff. So then the next thing will be the subject line of the email, and you can see that they've got like a fancy little bit of code here that automatically pulls up the day of the week. So I will change this email to rate P behavior for, and then where it says day of the week, it will automatically pull what day of the week it actually is. So today is Wednesday, so if this email were to go out today, it would say rate P's behavior for Wednesday, and tomorrow it would say Thursday, and the next day after that it would say Friday. So that pretty much sums that up. So this next bit is where it actually does get a little bit tricky, because we'll need to do a little bit of understanding what HTML is like. So basically what this is going to be the body of our email, and you can see that we don't really need any of this stuff right here. So currently it's check time. That's the default that it's going to pick. We can delete that. We can also delete this !br sort of thing. We don't need that either. That's just inserting a paragraph space, and we don't need that, so we'll get rid of it. So then we can also get rid of this via thing. This is basically if this then that advertising for itself, and they've given us a link code basically here. And we can use that as kind of the template for what we want it to do. So what this is going to be, this whole bit of text right here, eventually when the email sends, is it's going to be a hyperlink that looks like the letters IFTTT. And if you click them, it's going to take you to ifthisthenThat.com. So we can use this structure to put our link together, which is pretty great. So we're going to start off, we want our email to say, please click, and then we want this whole link to say this link, right? So anything that's inside of this is going to eventually look like a link that says this link. So we'll go to the end of that and say to rate Phineas' behavior today. And then I also like to put in something like, if Phineas was absent today, please don't complete a rating scale. Great. So now we're going to change this part right here where it says IFTTT. We're going to change that to the words this link. Okay? And now after that, we're going to adjust where the link goes. So now what we've done is we've made the text, instead of saying IFTTT, now the text that is the link will just say this link, right? But it will still take you to the if this then that homepage, which is because of this bit right here. So we're going to highlight that bit right here. And then we're going to go back over here and we're going to copy our link from our form, and we are going to paste it in right here. So now instead of going to the if this then that homepage, it goes to that form that we had created last time. So now if this email were to send out, what it would do is it would send the email that says, please click this link, and the words this link will be a link that take to the form, and then it'll say to rate Phineas's behavior today, Phineas was absent today, please don't complete a rating scale. So that's exactly what we want it to do, and we're going to click create action. So here is our create and connect if every day of the week at 3:00 p.m. on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, send an email, and the text of the email will be there. So now you name it something to remind you of what it's for. So I will say daily behavior report card for P. There we go. So we'll click create recipe, and it is creating that recipe, and there we go. So now we'll have the option to turn it on or off. So I'm going to turn it off right there, and you see a little gray out saying that it's not currently sending. I'll turn it back on, right? So now it'll be on. You can also publish it, so if you make a recipe that you really like, you can share it with the community. I'll include a link to my sample version of this recipe in the description, so if you want to just click that recipe instead, you can do that. You can also click this check now button, which will kind of test it out. So it'll assume that what's on the if has done, and then it'll send the email for this recipe. There'll also be a log of how many times this has run. So if your teachers say something like, oh, well, I haven't been receiving that email, you can check to see if it's working. And you can say, well, actually it did send, it sent yesterday at 3:02 p.m. or something like that. So you can say you should be receiving it. Maybe your email address is incorrect. The other thing that you can do is delete. So you'll have access to all of these things on your My Recipes page. You can see that now at the very top of my screen right here, I've got an if, then email sort of a thing, and these buttons do the same things that they did on that previous screen, where this one turns it off, this one checks it, shows a log, and then you can edit it. So that is basically how this works in a nutshell. And so now we can check to see what it will look like when this has finally sent. So what I've done is I've pulled up that email that I have now sent to myself, and what I can see is that here's the text, please click, and you can see that this link is now a link to rate Phineas's behavior today. And when we click this link, it takes us to that rating scale that we created. So this will send every day at 3 o'clock on the dot. So hopefully that can help you do a great job of collecting behavior rating data. So I have also included in the description of this a link to the published version of this recipe that I've created. So you can use that as a template. There's some text in there that says insert your link here. If you just copy or grab that whole text with the cursor, just grab where it says your link here and paste in your link, that should be able to do it. So thanks a lot and good luck.